The visible symptoms of a failing plant usually start with yellowing leaves and stagnant growth. The natural instinct is to water more to help the plant recover, but adding water at this stage accelerates the decline. This animated diagram shows what is actually happening underground. Healthy soil is full of tiny air pockets that allow roots to breathe. But when static water sits in the pot for too long, it physically displaces those air pockets. The roots begin to drown. In this low oxygen environment, harmful fungi and bacteria quickly multiply. They attack the weakened root system, turning the structure soft, brown, and entirely incapable of absorbing nutrients. The true problem to solve is a lack of air. Addressing it requires prioritizing oxygen delivery as much as moisture. Instead of reacting to these symptoms after the damage is done, you can engineer an environment where roots can never suffocate in the first place. If a plant's root system lives in a permanently well-ventilated space, regular watering routines cannot harm them. Building this environment requires a few specific materials: your plant, standard potting soil, aeration amendments, and a proper pot. The absolute first requirement is a pot with drainage holes. Excess moisture needs an immediate physical escape route from the bottom of the container. This diagram shows the swamp effect that occurs when you use a decorative pot without internal drainage. Water enters from the top, has nowhere to go, and permanently pools at the bottom of the soil column. Even with drainage, there is a counterintuitive rule regarding pot size. Giving a small plant a massive pot so it has room to grow actually increases the risk of rot. Look at this cross-section of a small root ball in a large pot. The vast areas of soil outside the root zone hold moisture for days. Because roots cannot reach these outer zones to absorb the water, it creates an environment of constant dampness. By selecting a pot that correctly fits the root ball and guaranteeing drainage, you physically prevent water from overstaying its welcome. Next, we have to address the soil itself. Standard, store-bought potting mixes hold a hidden danger. They are manufactured to be dense and to retain maximum moisture. The solution is to add chunky materials like perlite, orchid bark, or coarse sand to alter the soil's composition. Mixing these amendments in physically wedges open permanent pathways for oxygen to circulate throughout the pot. Unamended wet soil behaves exactly like this. When squeezed tight, it forms a dense, smooth, heavy mud ball that completely restricts airflow. A properly aerated mix behaves dynamically under pressure. Even when squeezed firmly, the moment you open your hand, the soil springs apart and crumbles loosely. This single structural adjustment to the soil alters your margin of error, making any future watering significantly more forgiving. With the plant securely in its new pot and soil, place it in an environment with appropriate lighting. Light directly relates to water consumption. Plants tucked away in dim corners drink slowly, leaving the surrounding soil wet for extended periods. This leads to the talander trap. Watering on a strict weekly schedule ignores the actual environmental conditions your plant is experiencing at any given moment. This line graph shows soil moisture dropping over time. Overwatering is a frequency problem, not a volume problem. Notice how tiny oxygen icons only flood back in when the moisture line hits the bottom dry phase. Constant watering prevents this. To reach that phase safely, use the deep check method. Probe at least 2 inches beneath the surface with a skewer. If it looks like the left side with dark clumps, wait. If it comes out dry like the right side, it is time to water. By exercising patience and verifying the underground conditions before adding water, you actively protect the drying cycle. You starve root rot of the suffocating environment it needs to start. You now have a securely repotted plant situated in bright light, receiving its first proper watering in its new home. The immediate physical proof of success happens right away. Excess moisture quickly navigates the oxygen pathways you built and flows freely out of the pot. Your plant is now protected by 3 core pillars: proper drainage, engineered airflow, and respected drying time. Plant care is no longer an anxiety-inducing guessing game. It is a predictable, effortless routine. By maintaining these environmental protections, you have removed the conditions rot needs to take hold. The plant is finally free to thrive. Stick around for the next video, where we cover exactly how to read your plant's new growth signals.